Good morning. Today's story is about how Donald Trump has fired Mike Waltz, his national security advisor, in his first cabinet shakeup. This was something Trump was pressured to do a few weeks ago, and I had money on it, actually. I bet my mate Joe $1 that it would be by the end of the week when Waltz added the Atlantic journalist to a Signal chat where they were discussing confidential war plans. Thing is, Donald didn't want to be seen to be bowing to media pressure to fire the guy, so he waited another 3 or 4 weeks and then has let him go. Earlier this week, someone photographed Waltz on his Signal app in a cabinet meeting, texting cabinet colleagues, which tends to suggest that he's just not very clever. He's also a bit of a hawk on Russia. He had been trying to suggest to Trump that he should sanction Russia, allow Ukraine to attack them more deeply inside their own territory. And of course, Donald Trump doesn't want to be seen to be doing anything that could compromise his future business deals with the corrupt, criminal murderer Vladimir Putin. So the more I read about the situation in Russia and how Putin has suppressed his opposition over the years, the more I realize that anybody who is friendly to that man is complicit with a dictatorship. And Donald Trump is not blind to the risks of dealing with Vladimir Putin. He just seems to admire his behavior. Fortunately, we live in a democracy where people who behave badly in government and who are incompetent get fired, even if Donald Trump doesn't want to fire them. The rest of the story is pretty much inside baseball. There's some stuff about like how Waltz was kind of not very friendly to Donald Trump's chief of staff. Sure. That's a misread of the politics, isn't it? Because you basically have to do some really serious kissing up to everyone around him if you want to get into that inner circle. Waltz was already on the outside. Of course, the other thing here is that it probably saves Pete Hegseth's job for at least another 3 or 4 days, depending on what else leaks about him. So that's good because Hegseth's more senior. Waltz is going to go to the UN now, which is not a promotion, especially if you're Donald Trump. He did give up a safe seat as a Florida congressman to go and work for Donald Trump for 100 days. Still, if you trust Donald Trump with your career, I think you get whatever's coming to you. Trump did go through 4 national security advisors in his first term and is keen to avoid looking so chaotic this time. Trouble is, I think it's John Bolton wrote a really damning memoir about Trump, really embarrassing for Trump after he'd been fired. And Trump doesn't want people to be going and writing these tell-all memoirs about him after they leave off, after they get fired. You've got to hire competent people if you want to avoid having to fire them later. And there's a Venn diagram of competent people who will work for Donald Trump, and it's 2 circles that far apart. So best of luck. I'm looking forward to the weekend. I don't know about you. My Golden State Warriors are going to be playing basketball and finally putting the Houston Rockets down so that they'll be able to advance to the next stage and probably get beaten by whomever they face there. How do I feel about this story? It's good it's happened. By any normal standards, it should have happened earlier. And I don't think Trump looks stronger to anyone in the know for delaying this firing. I will say the sort of chaotic nature of the announcement is kind of interesting. Like, none of his colleagues really knew it was coming. Some of them were caught by surprise at press conferences, like they were telling journalists. It's the first I've heard of it. Again, if you support Trump, that's all positive because he's a decisive man of action. And if you think Trump's an incompetent, chaotic lunatic, then you see it as more of the same. He's like the Rorschach blot of American politics. You show me a picture, I see a psychopath. I show you the same picture, you see somebody who's trying to defend America's interests. I just say you can judge a man by his actions and the friends he keeps. I hope you have a great weekend, and I look forward to seeing you on Monday. Best story I heard this week was about how Liverpool fans had disrupted and actually caused a 1.6 Richter scale earthquake during Liverpool's goal that won them the Premiership this weekend. It's a good news story, isn't it? I'll see you Monday for the video. Take it easy.